8-6 Indonesia kontra sa Vietnam, set number 3. Vietnam down 2-0. It was close in the first set and Indonesia took it, but after a little bit of overtime, 29-27. But in the second set, Indonesia practically controlled it from the second half of the second set all the way till the end.
Giving credit to your trademark, long sets.
But in the meantime, a good tip there by Vietnam as they cut the lead to 1.
And even though that they are down 2-0 on this ball game, Vietnam has been there. They have been in striking distance throughout this ball game, and they even led by 4 points in the first set, but they kept on making unforced errors. Let's see if they can find a way to fine-tune this one.
Hangestri, cross-court, yes! Like what we mentioned earlier, she's been the anchor of this Indonesian offense.
Went for off-speed a while back on a point. Now, going for a power hit across defenders and getting a point.
And Ratri Wulandri, the second leading scorer of Indonesia yesterday. And I'm pretty sure today as well. That point is just on the line for number 17. That's Lin Tran.
If you observe the defense of Indonesia, they are moving closer to the net, trying to prevent that quick hit. And now what Vietnam has been doing, attacking the backside of that defense, going down the line in continuous occasions.
Well, speaking of going to the back, Wulandri, Agustin Wulandri will score for Indonesia, fighting that zone 1 and scoring 2-point lead for Indonesia.
And that's the sweet spots whenever the defense is scrambling. Zone number 1, zone number 6, and zone number 2. Those are the 3 spots that you want to get. But zone number 1 is the most open and the easiest, in my humble opinion. Easier said than done, Eric. Easier said than done. Because most of the time, the libero covers that one.
That's right.
And that's the specialty of the house, covering it from sideline to sideline.
Meantime, a positional error on the part of Indonesia gives Vietnam a free point, and it's a 1-point game here. Combination play. Solid single lady block by number 7, Thi Trinh Huang with a kill block.
Perfectly read single coverage right there, not biting on the fake for that combination and blocking it, getting a kill block and tying our game.
Lu with the serve for Vietnam. Here's Hangestri right on the chest of Lu, but it's still alive. Doan sends it over. And Hangestri with the tip. It's still alive. Wulandri. Easy over for Indonesia. Doan sets it up. They get it back to Hangestri. Too close to the net. And there's a net violation on Hangestri. And Vietnam will take the lead, Martin.
That's definitely a clear call right there on the launch pad after she jumped. She would definitely hit it because she wanted to go for the power tip.
Yep.
But the space was too tight for her. And that wasn't even able to cross the net. So either or, that's a violation for them.
Good save there by Lu. Ball is still alive. On offense again, that's number 12 for Indonesia. Nwari will score.
Going for some power right there on the combination. And number 12 taking care of business. Again, going to zone number 2.
And she's a pretty tall lady, 5'9". Arcela Nwari scored 7 points for Indonesia yesterday in that loss to Thailand.
And one of the snappier movers of her squad.
True. She and Ratri Wulandri.
A little bit of the power players of this squad.
Right. Meantime, serving is Tiara Amalia. What a dig by Amalia. Doan sets it up and getting it through the block. And number 15, Thi Trinh Nguyen.
A little indecisive, this defense. Not being able to communicate again because it goes high-low. When your libero goes low, somebody needs to plug in high. That's why you don't leave the middle open.
Yep.
You got to take care of business right there. If the libero goes high, somebody needs to cover low. So you got to be communicative right there. That's the key on playing defense.
Meantime, Nguyen, starting setter of Vietnam, is back in the game. She's ready to serve. Tu Huai Nguyen. Over receive. Another chance to attack for Indonesia. Back row attack for Wulandri. Dang into the net.
Not over on that hit. Good rally. But again, their coach, the Indonesian coach, telling them to try to go for the harder hits. They were a little bit hesitant. I mean, the whole game, they were hesitant to hit. Few and far in between have we seen the power hits coming in for Indonesia.
Nguyen sets it up. What a dig there for Indonesia. And here's number 11 on the attack. Wulandri. And Dang with the point for Vietnam.
And she has been trying the whole afternoon, and she has been successful in a handful of times. And she has been consistent. And eventually, when you keep on trying, the defense will get tired eventually. So you got to keep at it, keep hitting, and eventually it would break down. If not, at least you tried.
Yep.
But an
13 all.
error
Yep.
again.
Now serving Wilda Nurmadila.
Nguyen sets it up. Dang with a good flick of the wrist right there. Ratri Wulandri, what a good save for Vietnam. And Lin with her knees on the ground gets the second touch. Ratri Wulandri, solid lady block there for Vietnam. Free ball. Vietnam on the attack and they get the kill. Dang, what a rally here so far in set number 3. Wulandri, cross court. Lin with the up. Nguyen sets it up. Ball is still alive. Another easy over for Indonesia. Vietnam needs to be aggressive. Nguyen sets it up. Dang with the tip. Kept alive by Wulandri. Oh! Would have said free ball, but two players collide. Nobody getting the up. And Vietnam gets the advantage, 14-13.
Miscommunication has been the theme of the game for both teams. And you still can't feel that they're communicating as loud as you want them to be.
True.
A little bit on the quiet side for both squads. Because right now, on this venue, both visiting teams, you would be able to hear their audibles. But for both squads, the hits are louder. And right there, Vietnam defending that net. Double coverage on the window. Good defense, getting a kill block.
And Vietnam up by 2. Like what we mentioned, their backs are against the wall. They need to get back here in this third set or it's all over. And right now they're in control. Back row attack. Single lady block by Lu. Wulandri, cross court again. This time Wulandri connects.
Good hit right there by Ratri. Getting a good set going for that cross-court power hit. And whenever she hits that volleyball, it's only power.
Yeah.
No variations.
And
Just hit it hard.
I'm impressed with Ratri's stamina, Martin. I mean, she hasn't had a rest
Yeah.
since the beginning.
And the volume of work that she
That's
has
true.
been getting.
1 point game. Good serve for Mutiara. Mutiara will set it up. And again, we're talking about her and she responds immediately. Ratri Wulandri again with a point.
Gladly obliges with another power hit, another coming off a vertical jump.
She said, "You talking about me?"
And she means business.
Yep. So Mutiara serving again. Game is tied at 15. Chance to take the lead, Indonesia. Nguyen sets it up. There's Dang. Dang will put Indonesia back on top. And take us to our second technical timeout. 16-15, Vietnam over Indonesia, set number 3.
Substitutions for Vietnam.
Vietnam looking good. Let me just put it that way. They're up by one.
Exactly.
Eric Tipan, Martin Antonio, game number 1 of the Saturday doubleheader. Indonesia, Vietnam. Indonesia up 2 sets, but Vietnam up by 1 here, and they're playing very well. They're hustling here in set number 3, and that's why they have the lead. And the hustle again. Martin now gives him a 2-point lead.
Not even a power shot.
Yep.
Planted off-speed hit. Something that you would get used to seeing when you watch your mom play volleyball on the weekends. But right there, just enough. Vietnam doing just enough to get a point. And it doesn't matter if you hit it with your head or your elbow, as long as you get the points,
That's
it
right.
counts on the scoreboard.
Second setter, Duan, is in the game, serving for Vietnam. Mutiara. Wulandri. Whenever Indonesia needs a point, you know where to go to. I'm stand corrected. That's a Hangestri with a point for Indonesia.
And they love going to that left
Yeah.
side. And usually, if you're right-handed, even if you play that opposite spiker position, that is your power side. You could get on the approach with your left leg first and then go vertical on the 1-2. That's a better look for you. But right here, that's not a good look for Ratri. Another service error. Gigel.
Oh, what's that? 3 service errors for Ratri Wulandri here in set number 3. And Vietnam back up by 2, 18-16. Substitution here as Ratri Wulandri will finally get a rest. And number 18 for Indonesia, that is Andriati or Novia Andrianti is in the game. Serving, Lin Tran of Vietnam. That's outside for number 12, Arcela Nuari. The lead now at 3 for Vietnam, slowly creating some cushion, some separation in this very important set number 3 if you're Vietnam.
And the times that they led were few and far in between. We could go back, way back to the first set
That's
when they
right.
led 8-4, and then Indonesia didn't look back, but now they equal their highest lead of the ball game at 4 points.
Hangestri getting blocked at the net. The set was a little too close, and head coach Octavian of Indonesia calls a timeout. They are down by 4 now. Very crucial moment for Indonesia. They need to turn things around here and now. Cannot afford to be later because Vietnam is on a roll and they have a 4-point lead here. They only need 5 to win and extend this first match.
And they need to really pick it up on defense because Vietnam has been doing it on both sides of the Taraflex. They've been defending well. That's why they were able to fabricate points. And they're opportunistic when it comes to scoring. They always, in this third set, they have been catching the defense of Indonesia scrambling. And that's what you want. In volleyball, once the defense scrambles, that's when you get your points.
20 serving 16.
Serving for Indonesia, Agustin Wulandri.
Agustin Wulandri serving 17-20. 3 points they need to catch if they want to win this. What a solid single lady block by Arcela Nuari.
And you can count 1 out of those 3 right there on the single coverage. Good timing. And coming from that backside hit, that's very difficult. The momentum that you need. You really need to put a lot of power on that hit to get in.
2 straight points for Indonesia. Good dig. And again, this is Arcela Nuari, so back-to-back points for her. 1 kill block, 1 kill on the attack. And this lead of 4-point lead of Vietnam is down to 1. A timeout here by the ladies in yellow.
Just needed a quick water break to douse off the fire of the Vietnamese. And, of course, the Indonesians taking care of business right here. Back-to-back good hits. And the defense dictating. Again, that was their strength in the second set, covering the net. and just getting into the power hits. But right now, they're down by 1 point. They just need to get another hit right here, and we're back to the ballgame.
They've got momentum here.
Uh-huh.
3 straight points for them. And that forced the hand of Tuan Kiet Nguyen, the head coach of Vietnam, to call a timeout. Hopefully freeze the server as well. This is Agustin Wulandri serving for Indonesia, looking to tie the game and finish off Vietnam in 3 straight sets. Doan sets it up. Good, solid block at the net by Nufratila. And the game is tied. 4 straight points for Indonesia.
And they
20
heard
all.
you. They heard you. They gave in to your invitation of tying it. 4 straight points coming off the timeout for Indonesia. You have the defense right there taking care of business, and the hits are keep on coming for Indonesia.
Chance to take the lead here. 20 all. Agustin Wulandri serving for Indonesia. Mutiara with a set. And a solid block this time against Nuwari. She's been the go-to girl of Indonesia. And ika nga, nabantayan na ng Vietnam.
Kargado yung palo, pero napatungan. Good defense by Vietnam. The length now getting in play as we get into the further parts of the set. Fatigue setting in. Now the mechanics and the fundamentals and also the size of our players.
What a quick there for Nufratila as she puts Indonesia back square with Vietnam at 21 all.
Been quiet the whole game.
Yep.
And then coming up big here, tying our ball game at 21.
Dewan sets it up. Cross court, kept alive by Hangestri, and Indonesia with the point there, and they're back on top. Sorry, Vietnam will get the point, and they're back on top 22-21.
Despite the trouble of receptions from both squads and the digging, they have been having problems. Net defense of these teams have been on point, especially on this set.
But unfortunately, the serve is not.
And to quote the great philosopher DJ Khaled, another one. Another error here from Vietnam. And both teams have been had forgettable performances here from the service area. Despite Indonesia having 5 aces in the second set. Their errors were more than 5.
Duan sets it up. Quick running attack there for number 15, Nguyen. Duan. What a cross court, but what a dig for Indonesia. Ratri Wulandri with the attack. Push for Vietnam. Wulandri goes up, and that's outside.
And hitting that volleyball underneath the ball. That's why it went higher than usual. She wanted to go for the power hit. It sails outside.
And Vietnam back on top 23-22.
Just basic physics. You try to hit it from the bottom, it would go up. So you want to get
right.
those kill hits right above that volleyball. But right there, 2 ladies collaborating, defending, and closing the window on Ratri.
That's Titrin Nguyen blocking Ratri Wulandri. Set point Vietnam. And Indonesia calls their final timeout, down by 2. Must play perfect volleyball now if you're Indonesia. Extending this set obviously will put them in a bad situation. Vietnam starting to heat up. It may have taken a while, but they're already at that level where they're playing at par with Indonesia.
Might be a 3.0 carburetor diesel engine right there. Something up your avenue, my friend. Takes time, but once it gets moving,
Right.
it's very difficult to stop, especially on a long drive like this.
That's what Indonesia is finding out right now.
And Vietnam has the answers, but it's their unforced errors that keeps them away from getting a set here.
Oh, but what an answer there for Nufratila as she cuts that 2-set point lead of Vietnam to 1. And Vietnam will call a timeout and try to finish off Indonesia with a good play here. Smart decision
Exactly.
by Tuan Nguyen, the head coach there, talking to his ladies, because they need to get a good stop here. Get a stop and get an attack and finish off Indonesia. Keep their hopes alive here in this
Exactly.
match.
And to get that stop, you need to receive that volleyball properly.
Mhm.
You need to communicate and cover the space that they want to get it into. Right now, number 17 for Indonesia, serving here. And look at this defense, 4 ladies on the back line.
It's imperative they get a good receive here and set up a good play for a good finish. Vietnam up by 1 set point. There's the attack and there's the finish of Vietnam. They stay alive here in set number 3.
We go back to playing good defense. First ball was perfect.